Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you once again for supporting Latin NCAP and joining this last publication of 2017 and last publication for Phase 8. Ahead of our results, I would like to make a short, brief comment. Latin NCAP Communications website has been recently attacked by a local digital media that aimed to get some results for this publication earlier than today's date. Of course, this intentional attack, in our view, is just a negative action towards also the information of consumers, as every time Latin NCAP presents new results, we are offering a press release and a spreadsheet explaining widely why those results were achieved and what the benefits and negative points found in each one of the cars. And we understand that this approach of just releasing results ahead of time is absolutely not beneficial. On top of that, Latin NCAP has been working really good with local media in the last few years. And thanks to that, we have been achieving a good progress with the car manufacturers as well. That is generating an improvement in the vehicle safety in our region ahead of any governmental regulation and, of course, above any expected or probably expected future regulations from the government. All this is thanks to the media that has been supporting us in a very positive way. We understand that these actions, like this digital media, it's definitely harming or has the risk to harm the relationship between Latin NCAP and the car manufacturers. And the only result of that is a negative, or might be a negative action from the car manufacturers backing up on improvements on the cars, or stop trusting a dialogue with Latin NCAP thanks to this kind of unfortunate decisions from some media. On the other hand, once again, we would like to thank very much all the other media that, even having this information, try to keep it as low profile or as outside of the lines as possible, in order to support our request of Latin NCAP of embargo dates that are explicitly mentioned every time there is a new publication. So having said that, we now start with the publication for the last results of 2018. We usually present the video, which is the way to explain to you in the best possible visual way the results. So here we start with the models tested in this last publication of Phase 8. First is the Nissan Murano, 7 airbags and made in the US. The next one is Nissan Kicks, 2 airbags standard, made in Brazil. And the last but not least is Chevrolet Aveo, 2 airbags made in Mexico. Summary of the cars we have presented is the Nissan Murano, made in the US, Nissan Kicks, made in Brazil. However, the result is also valid for Mexico, and the Chevrolet Aveo made in Mexico. We start first with the Nissan Murano. The Nissan Murano achieved 5 stars for the adult occupant protection and 3 stars for the child occupant protection. As you can see, the body regions of the dummies are colored in a good way, most of it green, and with some few exceptions, but good result, good protection. Frontal crash test, side view, we see the good structure in the car, stable structure, and good protection of the airbags for the occupants in the car. We remind you that this car was tested in 2016. In a frontal crash, we found an unstable structure behavior. Nissan committed to understand and solve the problem, and as we can see now in this test, it's clearly been addressed, and this car has all the countermeasures and improvements enough to avoid this kind of behaviors we unfortunately found in 2016 test. And it's not just a stable structure, but it's also translated in good dummy readings, and this is actually important for the 5 stars. For the child occupant protection, there's no changes in this car. Isofix and 3-point belts is standard for all vehicles of the Murano. A front protection of the dummies, the child dummies, as we can see here, is very good. Top view, a stable structure once again for the Murano, crash test frontal. And this is the explanation on a good result for the frontal protection of the Nissan Murano. It was not necessary to repeat the side impact, and basically the side impact we're watching now is the side impact from 2016. The result in the side impact was good, it's no problem, airbags deployed properly, and protection for child and adult occupants was good. And there were, of course, no improvements or problems detected in the car in the side impact last year. And the changes in the frontal that we experienced, we double-checked if this was going to be a problem in the side impact, testing once again the pole impact that we are going to watch in a few seconds. Now it's the pole impact of the Murano. repeated once again. The results last year were good, but there was just a delay, or might be a possible problem in the deployment of the airbag, the Cortina airbag. That's why Nissan decided to fix that problem and test it once again in the pole impact to make sure that the car is behavior on the side protection as well as in the car from 2016. And all this frontal and pole impact protection, here we see the Cortina and side airbags deploying properly and protecting properly the adult occupant. Confirm the same pole impact protection as in 2016 for the Murano. Having said that, the same position as for the ESC, no changes for the car. So the ESC video we're watching now is the ESC video from 2016. That was also good in terms of ESC requirements. This car got an approval, or say a check and okay on the ESC testing from 2016, and it's the same test result being considered for this 2017 result, which leads to 5 stars for adults and 3 for child occupant protection. Regarding the Nissan Kicks, it's a 4-star for adults and 4 stars for child occupant protection. As we can see now, good protection from most body regions. However, the brown chest in the driver, it was caused because of the qualifications, let's say the classification of an unstable structure in the frontal test. And that explains the reason of losing some points in the chest. But the unstable structure, as you can see, it happens in the A-pillar. It's a limit, it's a borderline case, but the deformation that we have seen in the test and in the inspection later on led to consider this as an unstable structure, even though the results and the dummy values, that's the most important thing we consider, are really good in this car, and that's what explains this Kicks to be rated at 4 stars for adults. Frontal view of the test, of the frontal crash test, and now we are going to go inside with the child dummies. The 18 months old Isofix and 3-point base is a standard for the Kicks, and this is once again a very good news for the Latin American markets. The child seats for the frontal and the side and the rearward facing child dummies in the front test protection was really good. Top view of the frontal test once again of the Kicks. Closer view of the top view of the crash test. And we are now going to watch the side impact test in this car. This car doesn't have side airbags. However, a very good developed structure in the side assures a good protection for the adults and the child occupants as well for this vehicle. Top view, once again, good protection for the adult dummy. And inside view for the child occupants, once again using the Isofix anchorages for these child seats, and good protection also in the side impact for the child occupants in the Kicks. These two results and these two aspects of the car, good developments, together with the ESC that we are watching now on the inboard camera, both of them explain the 4 stars for adults and 4 stars for child occupant protection. We are watching the outside view of the test of the Kicks and the ESC. With the frontal rigs that are just installed in case there was some kind of possible risk, but nothing happened, as you can see. Chevy Aveo, it's a 2 airbag standard, 0 stars for results and 3 stars for child occupant protection. This car was rated with a poor protection in the chest, with a red chest, and this is actually what led to this result. Frontal test, we can see now unstable structure, and even the airbags are there. They couldn't prevent the high deformations in the car and the low level of protection, as well as instability of the head contact with the airbag. We remind you that this car was tested in 2015 without airbags. That was a standard version, and was repeated the test once manufacturer added the double airbags for this car. Also, another improvement we found in this car is that the manufacturer added 3-point belts and Isofix anchorages for all the Aveos, and the child occupants were installed in the respective child seats with using the Isofix anchorages that are offered standard in this car, as you can watch now in the video. According to 2017 protocol, we also have to perform a side impact protection on the Aveo due to the frontal results. So, as we are going to, after this top view of the frontal impact, we are going to watch the side impact protection of side impact test of the Aveo, and even if you have a important structure penetration, the car has a lot of structural devices and energy absorption devices in the doors and in the B-pillar as well, to prevent the dummy receiving some kind of or serious or important injuries. And this is once again something that was checked and verified with the good dummy values, also for the child occupants and for the adult occupant as well in the side impact. And this is the side impact view of the Aveo. Top view for the side impact of the Aveo. And as explained, good side impact protection for this car. So, summary of results of this last publication of 2017 is Nissan Murano 7 airbags, ESC standard 5 stars for adults, 3 stars for child occupant protection. We remind you that this car was tested in 2016, and the result, due to a problem and unstable performance of the structure, led it unfortunately to have a 2-star result in 2016. Manufacturer improved the structure, solved the problems, and the car managed to get the 5 stars for adults and the 3 stars for child occupant protection. A small clarification: these 3 stars in the child occupant protection is almost a 4-star, it's very close to a 4-star results that was achieved last year. There was no changes in the child occupant protection since the 2016 car to the 2017 car. We understand that probably a little bit, a very small tiny difference of less than a point is actually what led it from a 4 to a 3-star on this car. And it's our understanding that might be explained due to the different structural behavior, but the child protection is really good as well. As you could see in our press release and the spreadsheet as well, dynamic protection of the child occupants is really good in this car. The next one is the Nissan Kicks. 2 airbags are standard. It's 4 stars in adult occupant protection and 4 stars in child occupant protection for this car. It's also relevant to mention that this vehicle is recently launched in our region, despite the borderline case of the structure that actually led us to classify as an unstable structure, an unstable body footwell area as well. Despite those, the results and the values of the dummies were good, and that's actually what pushed this car to be in a 4-star level for adults. And also in the child occupant protection, very good dynamics and good protection as well leaded that car to have a 4 stars in child occupant protection. Very much appreciated the progress of Nissan, the improvements in the Murano, and also the progress with the Kicks. Last but not least is the Chevy Aveo. 2 airbags as standard, 0 stars for adults and 3 stars for child occupant protection. We remind you that this car was tested in 2015 without airbags. That was a standard version. After the car added standard 2 airbags, Latin NCAP wanted to test it once again and see the improvements, or try to visualize the improvements with the 2 airbags. This is what we have done in 2017 when the car became available with the 2 airbags. If we compare the results of the 2015 protocol and we take the same car tested in 2017 to a 2015 scenario, then the car would have got a 1-star result in adults. But as we are testing in 2017, then we needed to perform according to the 2017 protocol. This car is brought to a 0-star adults and 3 stars in child occupant protection. It's important to explain that the results of this car, the side impact performance of this car, was showed actually good protection in the side impact, even if the car doesn't have side airbags. And this was clarified and explained in the press release and the attached documents that Latin NCAP is releasing in this opportunity. We would like to thank you very much for your attention, and before we say goodbye, we would like to acknowledge and thank very much to our supporters: Bloomberg Philanthropies, FI Foundation, Global NCAP, ICRT and IDB. And we would like to thank especially to all of you, to the media, also press and all kinds, consumers of all kinds, and manufacturers for supporting once again Latin NCAP in this 2017. And we wish you a very Merry Christmas, a very Happy New Year. And we would like to also meet you once again early next year in 2018, when we are going to be launching results, new results of new car and improved cars as well for our region. So thank you very much, and we hope to see you very soon. Bye-bye.